Hello. Welcome to the Under Pressure program. My name is Thalia. I will be here to assist you.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be diving into the car. I'm going to be doing a full walk around of the whole entire car. Alright, so starting off the bat, we're going to be doing the front end of the car. We're going to be doing the whole exterior first. So looking at the front of the car, we have the Euro RH emblem. As you guys can see, it looks really good in the car. This is like an attachment piece you guys could get off of eBay and Amazon. It directly fits onto the OEM bumper. So if you guys have a TSX and you guys want to do the conversion, it's a direct bolt on. I think you need to get the shroud too, if I'm not mistaken, and you're gonna need your clips. But starting off the bumper, we have the H emblem. As you guys can see, it looks really good. Give the car like a nice OEM, Euro R feel to the car, and you change up the front end a lot. Looking next at the headlights, we have the Euro R 2006 to 2008 J7 headlights. As you guys can see, OEM, of course. Everybody cries and wants this blue tint. As you guys can see, this is what everybody pays for. Essentially it's all the same stuff, it's just you get that blue tint, and it really adds to the car and gives it like a nice luxurious look. The USDM ones do have the amber, but I think the blue corners look better, and I really like it. Looking next at the Euro R lip, as you guys can see, it's a nice lip. As you guys can see, everybody asks me what bumper do I have, but really it's just an attachment onto the actual OEM bumper. As you guys can see, I think it looks way better than the A-spec lip, just because it comes all the way up here. This is like a nice subtle look, as you guys can see. So take a look. This looks really sick on the car. As you guys can see, it gives the car a nice OEM type of a low look, and I like that it has a shroud that comes up underneath, and it's not just one flat lip. And looking at the front of the car, it's really aggressive, and I really like the front end of this car. It looks really good. Looking at the side of the car, we have the Euro R side skirts, as you guys can see, and these are probably one of my favorite side skirts ever, just because it just looks really nice. Flows with the car really well. It's not too low and it's not too high, and it gives the car a nice look to the car. I really like the Euro R stuff on these cars. It looks really good from factory. And that is the Euro R lip. As you guys can see, the rear side skirt looks really good. Flows well with the Euro R lip, and it's just a nice sleek look. Coming on to the rear, we're gonna start off with the rear lip. As you guys can see, this is the Euro R lip. As you guys can see, it looks really good on the car, and it just flows really well. The Euro R rear lip with the side skirts and the front lip looks really good together, and it flows well together. As you guys can see, I was thinking about getting an A-spec rear lip, just because I like that it has the black valence. But if anything, we might even just get this repainted and have this part black. But I think I'm just gonna leave it the way it is. It looks really clean from the rear end, gives the car a nice clean look. Next, we're gonna be looking at the trunk. As you guys can see, we have the Euro R trunk. I know a lot of guys just do the H emblem and you just buy it and you stick it on, but I actually have the whole trunk. Of course, everything is OEM, and it looks really good. Looking next, we have the Euro R rear fog light. I actually do have the EDM one, but when I bought the EDM one, somebody broke it. I think it was the shipping company that either broke it or the place I bought it from, ICB Motorsports. So I just bought the JDM one, and of course the Euro R fog light looks really good too. As you guys could see, what this is pretty much a rear fog light. So when you have your lights illuminated, this just lights up. But mine right now is not wired up. I don't really know how I really feel yet about having this part on the actual car. I think it looks pretty cool, but the thing is, it kind of looks off-centered. Like this is off of a newer year and this is off of older year. It just has an off-center look. Of course, everything is OEM and authentic and real, from the headlights all the way to the rear fog light. Next, we're gonna be, I was gonna start with my wheels, but we're gonna be going inside the car just so we can extend the Euro R conversion, and I'm gonna show you guys what I have. Inside the car, I have the Euro R H emblem Honda airbag, as you guys can see. So it's just the H emblem. It looks really good. When I'm in the car, it actually completes it. And I know a lot of people just leave out the actual airbag and they leave the Acura Tsx airbag in, but again, attention to details, this simple thing just makes the car really nice to drive and gives the car a nice aesthetic look. Next, we have the Euro R pedals. As you guys can see, on the regular TSXs, it just comes with plain black pedals, and I think it looks really good. The pedals feel really good. They're kind of similar to the SI ones, but of course I'm gonna need new ones soon, just because the actual rubber actually weared off. And at times when I'm driving, my foot actually slips off the pedal because there's no grip, as you guys can see. And then we have the dead pedal here. We also do have the Euro R floor mats, so it does say Accord. I don't know if you guys can see, it's kind of dirty right now. I have to clean the car, but of course it does say Accord. And also for the door sills too, it does say Accord. So as you guys can see, kind of bright, it does say Accord here. So while we're talking about the actual exterior of the car, I'm going to be diving into the wheels. So as you guys can see, you guys are looking at NK FS01's concept by AM. That's why it says AM center caps, because AM took over NK when this wheel came out, but that's a whole different video and a whole different story. But as you guys can see, the wheels look really nice. NK FS01s, they look really good on the car. These are 18 by 10 plus 25 all around. So as you guys can see, they have a pretty aggressive look and a pretty aggressive stance. There's a lot of poke, as you guys can see. So if you guys are thinking about running this tire setup and wheel spec, be mindful if you guys are on coilovers. But if you guys are on air, it shouldn't be a problem. Just make sure your fenders are rolled and pulled. As you guys can see, they're rolled and pulled. Same with the rear. So you guys can see there's a lot of poke on, you know, when I'm aired out, it looks really good just because the tire sits in the actual fender wheel along with the front. When the car is aired out, the actual lip of the wheel sits on the actual fender. And again, we're rocking with the NK FS01s by AM Concept. For my tires, we're running 235/40 R18s. These are Satan tires. They're nothing too crazy. They're not like, you know, track tires. They're just regular budget friendly tires that I put on the car just because we're running a stretch, so I didn't want to get anything too expensive. All right, so next for suspension, we are running the D2 Racing Air Struts by D2 Racing with a 32 weight dampening adjustment. They feel really good. They feel similar to my BC Racing coilovers. You guys can't see them, but of course it's just a coilover with a bag. Pretty much the same thing as coilovers. It just has a bag with a sleeve. And I'm running single bellow bags, not double bellows. Just if you guys want to know more in-depth detail about the actual bags. Alright, so as you guys can see, you guys are looking at my official setup right now. This is the complete setup. As you guys can see, we have a 4-gallon air tank with a 440cc 2 compressors. So you guys can see it's a nice simple setup, and it just makes things easier in case I need to diagnose where air leak is, or you know, if I'm losing pressure or something. It's easy to diagnose and I can just look at it. I know a lot of guys like to do trunk setups and have hardwood and all that shenanigans with speakers and stuff. Again, nice and simple, looks really clean, and if I have a problem, it's easy to diagnose and I can see exactly where the air leak is coming from. Looking at the ECU and the management of the car, guys, as you guys can see, we have everything down here nice and tucked away. Everything is ran cleanly. Again, guys, if we have an issue, it's easy to diagnose, and we have no issues finding where the air leak is coming from, or if a sensor goes out, I don't have to, you know, remove a bunch of hardwood and stuff like that. So you guys can see, car looks really clean. I try to keep this car as clean as possible, and I really love the setup. I really like opening my trunk and people would look into the car and asking me if like this is some type of like hydrogen tank or a gas tank or some type of thing. That is it for the exterior. We just have my wheels, tires, Euro R whole complete kit, and of course the D2 Racing air struts with my air management. And if you guys are wondering what management I'm running Vera Elite air management. As you guys can see, it has 4 sensors on each bag. As you guys can see, this is where my remote is mounted, so it's pretty cool. I have my different presets. I could individually change each bag, and I can see how much pressure is in each bag, how much pressure is in the tank, and if I'm dropping in voltage or something's going wrong. So that's pretty cool. So next for the interior, as you guys can see, we have the hybrid racing short shifter with the hybrid racing shift knob. The shift knob feels really good, as you guys can see. It shifts really short, feels notchy, and you will know you're going into gear just because you can actually hear the car going into gear and you can feel it going into gear. As you guys can see, you guys could probably hear. So you guys could hear the transmission actually going into gear, so that's pretty good. It feels notchy. All right, so for the engine bay, you guys are just looking at a stock K24A2. Nothing done internally, just everything is stock. The only thing we have on is bolt-ons. Starting up with my engine 3-inch intake. As you guys can see, we just got this in. I had the AM before, but I like the intake just because it looks better and it sounds better. So this sounds really good, as you guys can see. And I did get the cold air and long air intake, where I could have the piece extend all the way down and we could have a short ram, or we can have a cold air. And I have the short ram just because the crossover for VTEC is way louder and it's way more responsive. Looking at the valve cover next, as you guys could see, we have a wrinkle finish valve cover, wrinkle finish in black with a K-tuned dipstick and a Phil's oil cap. It's just a small details, guys, that really add to this car. As you guys can see it says Phil's. I really like that piece a lot. This is probably my favorite piece in the engine bay. And you know, to bring everything together, we have the Speed titanium hardware. As you guys can see, I'm missing this one just because I snapped this one, torquing it down to spec. I had an over torque and it actually broke. It's not leaking oil, but I'm gonna have to eventually replace the head stud, remove everything off, and get that bolt back on, just so we don't have any oil consumption issues and leaks. As you guys can see, we also have the intake manifold cover. It's just a regular black one, looks really nice, and you know, just brings the car together. As you guys can see, D2 racing struts with the dampening, looks really good. And it's just a stock strut bar. We're probably gonna get an aftermarket one. I think Cusco has one for this car. It's like a nice polished one, and we're probably gonna get that one. We just gotta source it off of eBay or some parts store. But yeah, that's it for the engine bay. And talking about performance, as you guys can see, we have the PLM headers back there. I don't know if you guys can see it too well, but we have the PLM headers paired with the 2.5 Unaka CapEx system. Overall, this car sounds really good. I really like that I went with the 2.5 with the PLM headers. That is it. In terms of performance, we just have your intake with your PLM headers and my 2.5 Unaka CapEx system. Along with that, I do also have Honda for the car. I'm going to be doing a separate video on that. I've actually got the Honda a week ago. I'll have to fidget around with it and play with it. But currently right now we have a reflash, a base map on the car, and that is about it. But yeah, that is it for the car in terms of what I have done to it. I think I'm probably missing one or two things off the top of my head, but I can't remember right now. But overall, guys, it's just a nice, clean daily. As you guys can see, we just have our wheels, we have our Euro R kit, and then we have a basic bolt-on done to the car. It's nothing too crazy. We don't have any excessive stuff on the car like wings, you know, splitters and stuff like that. I just want to keep this car as clean as possible, and I've achieved that so far. But that is it for today's video. If you guys have any questions, be sure to drop a comment or reach out to me on my Instagram. If you guys have any questions about the parts I have on my car, or what you guys could do to your car to make it a bit faster or better looking. So that is it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, give me a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next video.